Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Now, there are a lot of destructive ideas in woke culture, but one of the most destructive is the healthy at any size cult. This group of individuals that deems anybody who claims that being massively, and I mean morbidly, obese is unhealthy, is fatphobic, is speaking from a point of privilege. Some leftoids even go as far to say that basic health standards are racist and misogynistic and ism this and ism that. The list goes on. It's all just so utterly ridiculous. It's so crazy. But most importantly, it's not okay. It's not okay to tell people who are not okay that they're just fine the way that they are. It's not okay to talk about morbid obesity, and the word morbid means that you're going to die. I mean, it's death that we're talking about here, as if it's something just normal that should be accepted. Once again, the woke mob, ignorant leftoids, are unintentionally doing the bidding of terrible corporations who are preying on Americans with their campaigns and business practices, and they don't even seem to know it. There's a fashion company that just launched a campaign ad, and we just gotta talk about it. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so take a look at this at Yahoo Life. Parade launches replay underwear sizes up to 5XL. And here's the campaign promo picture that everyone is talking about. Now, do I really need to mention why people are outraged over this photo? The glamorization, the promotion of this kind of morbid obesity is not something casual, something that you must accept or else you're a bigot. It's something deeply unhealthy that should not be promoted. This person is not going to live very long. This is sad. I mean, look at this individual's ankles. You're telling me that this person isn't at risk of serious heart disease, blood clots in their legs, blood clots in their arteries, diabetes, and much more? It's gotta stop. These people are in need of serious help, and wokies, you aren't helping people by accommodating to them and making their lives easier. In other words, enabling people who are literally ending themselves slowly in front of our very eyes. Yet that's what woke leftoids do. They see somebody who's suffering from extreme drug addiction, and their response is, we're gonna give you a house, we're going to give you free stuff, we're going to give you free money, we're going to give you paraphernalia so you can continue to do what you're doing, and we're going to enable your routine and your bad habits that got you here in the first place. And now we're seeing an epidemic in Democrat cities that are taking this approach. And it's the exact same thing when it comes to morbid obesity. We need to be having a real conversation with a little bit of tough love as to how we're going to fix this. Leftoids don't seem to understand that as they promote this stuff, they're essentially doing the bidding, doing the marketing bidding of major corporations that are preying on Americans. You know who stands to benefit from this? Textile manufacturers. You know who else stands to benefit from this? Major food corporations who are packing sugar and corn syrup and all these terrible vegetable oils and unhealthy additives and preservatives, promoting cheap, empty-calorie food, addictive food to American consumers. You're doing the bidding of companies like Coca-Cola and Nestle, as you claim to be all virtuous, so compassionate and caring. Well, if you really cared about people, you'd be able to say that this is wrong. This is not something that should be promoted. And it's also personal for me. I know the consequences of not taking care of yourself. I used to drink sugary drinks like iced tea, almost like a bottomless pit. I'd sit at my desk playing World of Warcraft 17 hours a day, straight non-stop, drinking iced tea and eating crappy food. Well, you know what? I don't exactly know what happened to me medically, but I started to get heart palpitations. I became unhealthy. And then the actual health ramifications made me develop almost like this anxiety disorder. And the moment I started to take my health seriously and started to eat good food, the moment I stopped drinking those terrible sugar waters, well, all of a sudden I feel great. And it's been 8 years since I've drank soda. I drink nothing but water. I eat a steady diet of good proteins and veggies and non-processed food, and especially non-processed bread. And I went from being out of shape and feeling horrible to feeling healthy again. We are experiencing an epidemic right now. People are dying, and there's a whole industry that stands to benefit off of morbid obesity. The healthcare industry, the fast food industry, the cheap garbage snacks industry. They're the ones who are spending millions of dollars lobbying this healthy at any size fat acceptance movement. It's a freaking scam. It's not woke compassion. It's corporations that are preying off of weak minds. You know, I keep asking myself, how many examples of corporate wokeness are we going to need to expose before people wake up? Last week, we covered a whistleblower story that woke was teaming up with the NAACP to target their opponents, labeling them as racist. The NBA uses Black Lives Matter to promote virtue. Meanwhile, they have deep connections to the CCP that's running amok in Africa and violating people's human rights, namely the Uyghur Muslims. You have pretty much every single corporate entity all over Twitter, and of course on other social media platforms, and even traditional media platforms, celebrating pride in the LGBTQ communities as allies. Meanwhile, not exactly brave enough to do the same thing in the Middle East. It's endless examples of corporate wokeness where they use these woke ideas as tools to benefit themselves. They manipulate leftist activism, yet we continue to see this holy matrimony, this marriage between these woke leftoids and these corporate entities. They're using you as pawns. And like I said, I don't know how many more examples we need for people to start waking up. You're not actually healthy at any size. That's just what big sugar, big vegetable oil, and big processed food wants you to believe. I know what it is to be unhealthy, obese, craving foods, overeating, not moving your body. I know what it is because I've been there. And those are some of the darkest times of my life. And I don't say that lightly because suffering health issues is friggin' depressing. It brings on guilt, shame, anxiety, and it's a downward, sluggish spiral. And the idea that we should be promoting it as if it's normal and acceptable is complete garbage, and I will never accept. Because if you look at society a couple decades ago, this obesity epidemic didn't exist when we didn't have these highly processed, manufactured, terrible vegetable oils, or all this easy access, cheap processed food, when people weren't consuming their body weight in sugar on a monthly basis. It's time to have a serious reality check here. It's time for a serious, in my opinion, national, in fact, global reality check. There has to be a counterbalance to this woke nonsense because once again, like usual, this woke nonsense is ruining people's lives. It's enabling terrible behavior. It's absolving people of basic responsibility. Instead of speaking honestly, instead of tackling honestly important issues that may be sensitive or hurt people's feelings. Well, in this case, I really could not care less about your feelings. I care about your physical and your mental health. And I think that's real compassion, not playing into these corporate marketing scams and promoting fake, false virtue. The woke left is at it again, and they're just as ignorant and destructive as ever. That's pretty much what I got for you guys, just a liberal hive mind rant. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you're taking your health seriously, because at the end of the day, the only person who's responsible and the only person who could do anything about it is you. Block out the copium and take care of yourselves, people. Don't fall into the woke Democrat trap. That's what I got for you. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna get out of here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.